All right, everyone. I want to I want to cut to the chase as quickly as possible on this podcast. You have likely spent thousands of dollars on a logo, that color palette, that we all get with all the different colors and everything for our brand, as well as that pretty brand guide as well too. And it's beautiful. I have no doubt about that. It's a pretty, pretty logo. But, and this is a really big but, that pretty logo is not bringing you clients and cash. I promise you it is not. Now, on the same token, if you have the money to spend, on a professional to develop that logo and color guide for you, great. Like, more power to you. I think it's a great asset to have. Okay. So I don't want you all to get me wrong on this. Those are great assets to have. But so many of you are starting out in business and you do not have a lot of upfront money to be able to, sink into your business. And you're putting your money into the logo and the brand guide and all of those things. You're sinking your money into it, thinking that other people are going to care about it as much as you do. And I hate to say this, and I know it's going to rub some of you the wrong way, but no one cares about it as much as you. All right. I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid, you're the star of your own movie, right? No one sees your life. No one sees your business in this through the same lens as you do. And I can promise you that when it comes to your logo and color guide and all of those things, no one cares about it as much as you. They just don't. Okay. And I know that cuts to the core a bit. It did for me too, after I spent $5,000+ on a brand package, and it didn't do anything for new business, y'all. Like, not a thing. So what does bring in new business? Let me tell you, getting crystal clear on your message. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the 3 tips to help you draft your unique brand position so you stand out from everyone else out there in your niche. Now, in order to do this, you've got to do a little research ahead of time, first of all. Okay. It's always a good idea to check out your competitors. What do you love about your competitors? What do you not love about your competitors? So you can kind of figure out where you are in the midst of all of that. So those are all good things to do. But when it comes to actually drafting your unique brand position, here are the 3 things that I want you to consider. All right. Number 1, you need to be talking about values, those things that are important to you. All right. Think about the words. I mean, we've all seen, core values and mission statements and develop, how companies go about developing that. And I know for some of you, you might go through that exercise with a consultant and they print you out a really great, little PDF guide about your mission and core values. And it goes up on a shelf and it collects dust. Okay. Not a good utilization of your time or resources, for that matter. But what you need to do is you need to be taking a look at those values that are important to you, and those need to be incorporated into your messaging. All right. That's what sets you apart from everyone else out there in your niche. Okay. So if you're an attorney who has a big heart for women going through a divorce, I want you to talk about it from that angle. Talk about the services that you provide, how you can help solve their problem from that particular angle. Talk about why it's important to you. Do you have stories from your past that would make sense to share about, someone going through a divorce from that particular perspective? Are you involved in certain boards and committees and that provide resources to women going through a divorce? You need to be talking about that as well too. Okay. Think about the things that make you different. Think about what's important to you, and your messaging needs to reflect that. Okay. So number 1, I want you to talk about what is important to you in your messaging. All right. Number 2, I want you to define who you specifically serve. Who is that perfect client? Like, really, I want you to describe that perfect client in great detail. And think about who has been a perfect client for you before in the past. Think about that person. Okay. Drop into that person, jot down some details about why you loved working with them. Are they male or female? Or do they have kids? Do they travel? Do they have dogs? Do they love to shop? What podcasts do they listen to? Where do they shop? What kind of car do they drive? What kind of neighborhood do they live in? You also need to be thinking about your perfect client from, an emotional perspective too. I mean, the pain that they're experiencing and how you can help solve that pain for them. What is it really like for them? What are they in it? What I tell my clients all the time is, what is your perfect client? What keeps them up at night? Okay. When they're going to bed, when they're by themselves in the car, driving to the next meeting or picking up dinner for the kids or whatever it is that they're doing, and they're by themselves and they only have the thoughts in their head, what are they telling themselves? Because you and I both know that we can be so brutal to ourselves, right? And so, you need to be thinking about those particular thoughts, that emotional connection that you can help provide, when you're thinking about the client, the perfect person that you want to serve, and really thinking, about what it is that is keeping them up at night and addressing that through your messaging. Ooh, that's a special sauce. All right. So really think about who you serve. Number 3, I want you to define the problem that you solve with some sort of I help statement. Okay. And this quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here. You can't see me, but this quote unquote I help statement, this is going to be something that you're going to put in your email signature line. You're going to put it in your Instagram bio, your LinkedIn bio, your Facebook bio, anywhere where you have any sort of descriptor about who you are and what you do, on your website as well too. But you need to have some sort of I help statement that clarifies, that tells people who you are, what you do, and who you serve. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this quick little exercise here. This is where you need to get specific, but not wordy though, just specific. And y'all, this takes time, because in order to not be wordy, you've got to really think through what exactly you do and who you serve and how you go about doing it. All right. So I want you to think about it like this. Again, number 1, define who you serve. Number 2, define what you do. And number 3, define how you go about doing it. So I'm going to walk you through my I help statement, and it goes a little something like this. I help brands. Okay, brands. This is the who I serve part. I help brands scale with executive level communication and marketing strategy. This is the what I do part, by creating unique brand positioning. And this is the how I do it part. So I help brands scale with executive level communication and marketing strategy by creating unique brand positioning. All right. So I'm telling people who I serve. Those are the brands. I'm telling people what I do. I help them scale with executive level communication and marketing strategy. And I tell them how I do it. I do it by creating unique brand positioning, getting really clear on your messaging. All right. So those are the 3 things that I want you to think about. Instead of, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on, a logo package, especially if you don't have the money to do it, I want you to think about the 3 things that you can do to help set yourself apart from your competitors out there. And that's number 1, talking about what's important to you. Number 2, defining exactly who you serve. And number 3, defining that problem that you solve with a simple I help statement. Okay. So that is what I have for you this week. I hope you find it helpful. And if you do, feel free to share this episode with someone else that you think might get some benefit from it. And in the meantime, we'll see you next week.